Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We would love to have you on camera. If you would indulge us today, thank you for coming to Joint Venture Strategies for 2024. We're going to get started in another moment's time. Just some quick housekeeping. We would love it if you're on camera because, of course, we care about relationship building at all times as any of our Selling on the Spot events. And I know you have your name on your screen, how you want to be found on social media, and that is great because, of course, we do recommend that you connect with each other as well. Let's have the chat open for the duration of the event, and let's start with, of course, where in the world you are located. Let's put into the chat where in the world you are located, because we have different countries. I know we have Canadians, Americans expected, and from a few people from a few different countries. I know Veronica is here from Jamaica. Bet it's warm there today. Warmer than Canada. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. All right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of housekeeping here. We're having a few glitches with Zoom, but doing what we can here. All right, so we're going to get started in a moment's time. We'll be introducing David, our speaker for today, in a few moments. But as part of a usual Selling on the Spot event, we also want to give you a really brief opportunity to introduce yourself, not only for the sake of networking and connecting, but also so that David knows who you are and what types of businesses that you are in, so that he can apply that to his presentation as well. So again, sorry that we have a few Zoom things going on my screen, which are really bizarre, and it is what it is. So bear with me. All right, so with that, I'm going to share my PowerPoint and get us underway. So thank you again for being here today. We're really excited to be bringing you this presentation, Joint Venture Strategies for 2024, Effective Partnering Tips to Grow Your Business. Now, I am Jane Warr, also known as Trainer Jane, founder and CEO of Selling on the Spot, and Trainer Jane, most well known for Selling on the Spot marketplace events, where we help you, the entrepreneur business owner, sell your products and services in an ethical format. Fun and profitable online events and some in-person events as well. I'm also an international stage speaker, 5-time published author, communications and sales trainer, and more. Now, Selling on the Spot is far more than just our marketplace events. We proudly help you in regards to a masterclass, more training, marketing, an entire division. This event alone is under the marketing division. We have a mastery division, media training, the academy, systems, money training, mindset, resources, and so much more. So please definitely visit sellingonthespotmarketplace.com and visit it regularly, as we are your hub to help you grow your business. And a quick shout out to our corporate partners, or excuse me, corporate sponsors: Carol Humphreys, Empress of Success; Romana Rocks, our writing training expert; and Sue Coleman, networking mastery coach. We appreciate you all. Now, for today's brief introduction that I ask of each of you, please stay with our Selling on the Spot format. It is really meant to be a clear and concise sentence, not 30 seconds, not 1 minute. So please indulge us by using our format. Who is it that you help or train, or whichever verbs you'd like to start with? But who is the people group that you serve? What do you serve them with? And basically how? It's really that simple. Okay. So Diane, you're the first one on my screen. I'm going to go in order. So if you could all please unmute yourself so that we can do this as quickly as possible. So what is your one sentence, Diane?
I help all living beings with this amazing technology to restore and bring balance to their health with a neat little patch that provides regeneration of your natural stem cells.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Veronica, please go ahead.
I'm Veronica Sutherland. I help wives who are struggling to find happiness in their marriages to divorce-proof their marriages so they can have strong, resilient marriages. And I do it using biblical principles through my courses, coaching, etc.
Wonderful. Thank you, Veronica. Miriam?
I help independent medical professionals increase their revenue helping them by scaling their business, and I don't know what else was there. The coaching.
All good, all good.
Mhm.
You're new to us, so you'll know the format more next time. Awesome. Thank you so much, Miriam. Will and Kim, are you able to come on camera or at least unmute, please? Will, go ahead if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Good morning. Yeah, I help people in the allied healthcare and spiritual coaches, or who are coaches that help to sign people up. My product is doing VIPs, videos that are interactive and personalized, and I help coaches to sign their new clients up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Will. Monica, you just arrived as we're doing introductions. Are you able to jump on camera? Or introduce yourself just with one quick sentence as to who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
I am a health coach, and my mission is to inspire you to live younger, longer. And I'm an author and speaker as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Kim, sorry, Kim, please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Speed, and I help budding and building entrepreneurs to confidently step into their own spotlight so that they get seen, heard, and remembered. And I do that by helping them to find their idea and build a business, and then to help them find their voice and their brand.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, all of you. So again, for the sake of community, we like that you all have the opportunity to introduce yourselves because I may know you, but David doesn't necessarily. We want to make sure that you're all connected after today. So with that, I proudly introduce David. So he is the founder of why did I stumble on that? Selfgrowth.com. I apologize. One of the top self-improvement websites on the internet, receiving over 100 million unique visitors since it was created. He is also the co-founder of Joint Venture Directory, a top resource for finding joint ventures, affiliates, and partnerships in the self-improvement industry. He is an author, coach, and speaker, publishing over 10 books on self-improvement, health, marketing, and sales. 2 of his books, Mastering the World of Selling and Mastering the World of Marketing, were published through one of the top publishing companies in the world, John Wiley & Sons. I personally am part of the Joint Venture Directory. I love it. I use it regularly. I've gotten great connections through it, and I proudly pass it over to you, David.
All right. Thank you very much. Excited to be here talking about joint ventures. Actually, I know a number of you. I think Miriam and Kim, I think you guys are members of the Joint Venture Directory. Thanks for being members. I know I've seen Diane before, maybe here. Veronica, I think I know most of you. I think Will, I know. So good seeing everybody over here. So let me step you through the plan for today. I want to make this as interactive as possible. And I want everybody to walk away with a number of different things, including some significant ideas and tactics and strategies relative to this kind of world of joint ventures. But can I do a screen? Can I share screen over here, or do I have the ability for slides?
Yep, you should be set up already. Please go ahead.
All right, we'll jump in over here. So I do have slides, but I want to make this as informal and interactive as possible. And first, thank you, Jane, for having me here today. Very, very excited. We're going to be talking about joint ventures and partnerships to exponentially grow your business in 2024. As Jane mentioned, founder of selfgrowth.com, co-creator of the Joint Venture Directory. That's my core focus. And I want to discuss what we're going to be doing today. So in total, we'll be here. We're about 10 minutes in, so about an hour and 20 minutes more. And want to make this interactive. A core piece will finish up in the first hour, and then we're going to extend it with some stuff. But I want to cover a number of different things. So one is we're going to be going in deep on how to create an effective system for finding joint venture partners and cross-promotion partners. We're also going to be talking step by step, how do you find people to partner with right away? And then I've worked with Jane on coming up with a couple of options for the community. So For everybody who's here, we're going to give you two options later today. One is if you don't currently have an account with the joint venture directory, you'll have opportunity to do one of two things: either get a 3-month account for free, which we worked out, or get a reduced price option for 15 months, and I'll talk about that. And for people that are currently members, just for showing up and sticking around over here, we're going to add if you're currently invested with us, I'm going to add an extra 3 months to your membership, just as a thank you for being here today and a thank you for being one of our members over here. So let me step you through my personal experience. And many of you might be doing joint ventures already, but the concept I want to share with you, and I'll explain in detail how it fits in and some of the things I'm doing, is joint ventures, partnerships, and cross promotion. For me, have been this 3 powerful, low cost, low risk ways to really get known. You want to build your audience or build your tribe and build your business and generate income. And we talk about this concept of joint ventures. And as a starting point, I always like to redefine how I view the term joint venture. So for me, a joint venture is any time that 2 companies or 2 people work together to help create, manage, build their businesses, whether they're supporting each other by cross promotion or referrals or however they're working together, even on the smallest level of there are 2 of you and you're each referring potential clients to each other. For me, that's a mini joint venture. So I wanted to kind of get that out of the way in terms of where we fit in right now. And I want to give you a little bit of my background and kind of give you my story of how I got into this whole joint venture thing. I started corporate America. I took a course from Dale Carnegie years ago called Effective Speaking and Human Relations. And I fell in love with this whole self-improvement industry. And fast forward a few years to 1995, internet was just starting out, starting to grow. And I bought my first domain name, and that was selfgrowth.com. So that's a long time ago already. And I started out as a hobby and then a side business. And I ran it as a side business for a while in corporate America. And then in 2003, my life changed completely. And in 2003, I told my wife, I said, look, with 3 kids, and I said, I want to go full time. It's time for me to go full time with this business. And I quit corporate America and I got myself a small office. And I said, all right, now I got to figure this out. I have this side business. I got to grow it. And I said, you know what? It would help. I'm in the self-improvement industry to find a book about the industry that told who all the top players and the top companies are. And I couldn't find anything like this. And I looked high and low and I said, you know what? I want to know who all the top players are in the industry. If I'm interested, there's probably a market for this. So I went out and I brought on board a journalism major from Rutgers University to help me. And we wrote this book called Self-Improvement, the Top 101 Experts. And I had this fantasy at the time, all right, I'm going to write this book. I'm going to sell tons and tons of books and become a bestseller. And my business was going to take off. And one of the challenges with that, it's not so easy to sell copies of a book. So at the time, I had this literally a PDF on my computer. And I said, well, how am I going to sell it? And I said, you know what? It would be helpful to have a bunch of testimonials for people. That always helps. So I started going out to people in the book that I was writing about, and I asked them for testimonials. And I got some amazing testimonials. So Jack Canfield, he's the co-creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul. He sent me a testimonial that this is the most impressive collection of best advice, the world's top experts. I was just so happy that Jack supported me. John Assaraf from The Secret, he was another person, gave me a testimonial. Very happy about that. I also got John Gray, wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, and Brian Tracy, also multiple books, great on business programs. So I had all these testimonials. So here I was. Now, not only did I have this PDF, but I had all these great testimonials. Still didn't even sell 1 copy of the book. So I had to figure out a plan for selling it. And at the time, I had a small email list of my own. So I knew I could sell some through my email list. And I knew some people in the industry that would support me. But not a ton of folks. And I was following kind of the internet marketing of the day, and I saw what people were doing is these 1 day promotions. You've probably seen them, buy my book in 1 day. And I decided I'm going to try this with an ebook that you can download from ClickBank. And I picked the day to do this, but I didn't really have a lot of partners lined up to help. And one of the people that I was a big fan of at the time was Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn is a personal development expert, and he's probably best known as the guy who trained Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins credits him a lot with his success. And I was a big fan of Jim Rohn. And what had happened since I had selfgrowth.com, I had been promoting Jim Rohn on my website literally for several years whenever I had a chance. And just I saw, I love Jim Rohn. Just a quick, who knows Jim Rohn? Just put Jim Rohn in the chat if you know who Jim Rohn is. And we'll see how many Jim Rohn. So I was a big fan, met him many times. Good person, never heard of his name. If you start listening, he passed a number of years ago, but he's phenomenal content material. So whenever I had a chance, literally for several years, I'd send out I had an email list. So I'd say, hey, Jim Rohn's great. You should buy his products. Or I'd publish his stuff. Whenever possible, I'd put whatever information I'd had out there. So I was a supporter of Jim Rohn however I can. So I contacted Kyle Wilson, who was my contact for Jim Rohn, and he was running Jim's business. And I emailed Kyle. I said, Kyle, is there any way I'm coming out with this book? Is there any way you can do a shout out or something to support me? And I got the nicest email back from Kyle. It said, hey, Dave, you've been supporting us literally for multiple years without ever asking for anything in return. You've promoted our products or services or speaking, and you've never asked for anything else back. I would be happy to recommend you. And Jim Rohn would be happy to support you. So now I was armed with Jim Rohn on my side, and we got a few other people, and we had this big 1 day promotion. So we're selling the ebook for $27 through a website called ClickBank. And in 24 hours, we sold $108,000 worth of this ebook in 24 hours. There's over 4,000 copies of this ebook. And right then and there, I was like, oh my God, partnering, support, this is the way to go. And I haven't looked back since. And ever since that time, I've had opportunity to work with a lot of other folks. Some of the other people I've worked with, I mentioned Brian Tracy and Jack Canfield. I had a chance to interview Wayne Dyer. I've worked with Marion Williamson and Marcy Shimoff. I interviewed Don Miguel Ruiz. So I've had a chance to work with quite a few different people over the years. So it's been very exciting. And I was committed to not only using joint ventures, but for helping people use these same techniques to grow their business. And that's kind of been my focus ever since. So I wanted to share some information, and some of you who are part of the joint venture directory are familiar with some of this stuff, but we're going to delve a little bit deeper today. So for me, joint venture partnerships help grow your business in a number of ways. The first thing is finding partners who will recommend or promote you. And I put on the screen a number of different ways that we've used joint ventures to help promote our business. And I'd like to get feedback from everybody in a second over here. So one of the more powerful approaches is to partner with someone who will promote you by email. Send an email out recommending you or promote you on social media, or maybe people to promote you on their website or blog. You might have people who are just giving you referrals. They're introducing you to people, or people to interview you on a podcast or put you on a summit, or you might have a book or product you want to review. So I want to ask everybody, and if I can get as many of you as possible, if you can go in the chat, and out of these numbers, 1 through 7 over here, just put which numbers correspond to the ways you'd like to benefit from joint ventures. And I'll give everybody a couple minutes just to put what numbers correspond to what areas you'd like to focus on. And Jane, I'll give you a chance to put in as well. We're jumping off with an all from Ale.
Yeah, I'm agreeing to that. 1 to 7 for me, for
1
sure.
to 7. Got Jane, Kim, 1 through 7, Miriam, all. All right, a lot of walls, 1 through 7. A lot of walls. Okay. So
We're all
almost
in.
everybody has all of them here. All right, good to hear. So I wanted to also expand this list for you. And you can start jotting down the areas that you think would be most important. So there's some other areas as well to partner with people. So one is you can jointly create products with people. You can find people to promote you if you have an affiliate program, referral program, and just more speaking opportunities. But sometimes you're just looking for people to brainstorm or mastermind with. That's another option over here. Sometimes you're looking for people to model and learn from, or people that provide services to help you build your business. So these are some other areas. But one of the things that I've seen repeatedly in this joint venture world is that there's a law that works throughout this. It's the law of reciprocity. And if you haven't heard of this law, I love this concept. I first heard about it from Robert Cialdini in a book called Influence. And if you haven't seen or read this book, it's worth checking out. It's called Influence. And the law of reciprocity is a very simple one. It states when you're providing value, when you're doing something for someone, they are much more likely to want to reciprocate and do something for you. A very simple concept. Then the more you do, the more value you're providing for other folks, the more the more they want to provide for you. Very, very simple. So in this world of joint ventures and partnerships, for me, one of the key things is figuring out what value you're bringing to potential partners. And I'd like to really delve into this with everybody here, because this is really critical to being successful. And I see Kim love that book. One of the first books I read early on was Influence by Cialdini. What I'm going to do is I want to spend a few minutes kind of stepping through some areas for you. And I'm going to ask everybody to identify at least one or two things that you can do, kind of one of your go-to things that you can do to support other people. So some of these are just the reciprocal of what you're asking for. So for example, if you're asking for someone to promote you by email, ideally, if you can promote them by email, it will incentivize them to support you. Or you can promote them on social media or let them speak at your summit. You might want to interview them on Facebook Live or on a podcast. You can promote them through your website. You can pay them affiliate commission or referral fee. And I want to just get some clarity. I want everybody to get some clarity on what you're going to be able to do. There's a number of other ways you can provide value. And one of the things I like to point out is every single one of us has things that we can do to support other potential partners. So the top one I've listed here is provide them with good content. So anybody that you're going to get on their podcast or their summit or the webinar, if you have good content, audio, video, written content, that's a powerful way to provide value for their community. Anytime you can participate in their community, somebody has a Facebook community, a LinkedIn community, Instagram, anytime you're participating, you're supporting them. You might have a particular skill you're bringing to the marketplace. You can review their books or other products, provide testimonials, connections. Connections can be extremely important. If you have you might not have a big email list, but you might have one or two connections that are valuable. You could promote their podcast, become an affiliate, help them sell their product. So what I'd like is just first a quick yes or no from everybody. I covered a few things over here. Does everybody, and put a quick yes or no in the chat, does everybody have at least one or two go-to things that they can provide to other potential partners? A quick yes or no. I'm seeing all yeses over here. And if you can take a minute and let me know what one thing that you bring to the table is. Do you have an email list? Will you do testimonials? Whatever it is. So I'm going to give people community. I'm going to give everybody a chance. I'm at service as always, community, email list. Those are always great email lists. I do testimonials, Facebook, community interviews. All right. It looks like every single person here has some value. I love connecting people. Also really, really critical. All right. So let's jump in here. We're going to keep moving over here with some specific strategies that we use and a lot of folks use, very effective for implementing a lot of this. So the key is really understanding the value, but then what do you do with that once you understand the value? So we're going to focus on building a system first. So the system, I like starting out with something very simple. And it's literally this concept of developing a master list of partners. And the master list can literally be an Excel spreadsheet, a Google sheet. You could be using some more sophisticated thing like Salesforce, but you want to have a way of tracking all potential partners. And who are these partners? They're typically people that can help you get in front of your target audience, your customer avatar. So those are the people you want to reach out and develop relationships with. And I recommend you start with people you know, put it into a spreadsheet. Something as simple as their name, contact information, and notes. And then whatever keywords are associated with it you do, let's say you do meditation, well, let's say you do leadership or empowerment. You can use those words to find people by searching on Facebook or Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube or LinkedIn. Start with the people you know, do some searches, find people who are running groups or pages, start adding them to the list. And then I recommend adding to this master list, make a list of industry leaders in your niche. And you can also track speakers, anybody who's on you, sign up for summits, live or virtual, in-person or virtual summits. Put down the speakers. See who has the best-selling books in your niche. Go to Amazon, use your keywords. And then what's interesting, and I do this all the time, is once I'm starting to follow someone, let's say I'm following a Brian Tracy, I'll track and see who Brian Tracy and other leaders and influencers are recommending. Because if Brian's recommending them, they could be a good fit for me to partner with as well. So this is really important to understand. Add these people to the list. And then once you have this list, simple process. We talked about this a little bit already. Understand the value you bring to them. And I love this quote from Zig Ziglar. It's, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help other people get what they want. And that's what these building relationships is about. And I always look, people say, what's the biggest value you could bring to people? And I think we'll all agree with it. Anytime someone helps you sell their product or build their tribe, it's of huge value. So anytime you can help generate additional income for people, these are the big values. So there's a couple things to understand why you're doing this. So you want to position the value you have by answering a few questions. The first is your audience or your product or service a good match for them? And this is what I'd call a door one issue. You want to make sure you guys are a good match for each other. And that's the basic stuff, based on some of the stuff we talked about already. Can you promote them to your email list or social media or website? Can you make personal referrals to them? Do you have some level of expertise or knowledge or contacts that would be valuable? And then once you do this, you have to know how to pitch your value. So the first thing I'm mentioning is understand what you bring to the table, but understand it from their perspective. And there's an acronym that I love, and everybody says it's everybody's favorite radio station. It's WIIFM. I love this acronym if you haven't heard it. And it stands for WII is what's in it, FM is for me. So whenever you're reaching out to somebody, you need to figure out, what's in it for them. Why should they listen? Why should they care about what you're saying? And I recommend starting by writing an email, clear proposal, reaching out in social media, and start with how you can support them. So back to my Jim Rohn story, all I did was support him before I asked for anything. And whenever possible, when you want to reach someone you don't know, find some sort of intermediary to make an introduction. Very, very useful, very, very powerful approach. All right, let's take a look at kind of the next piece of the puzzle in terms of using joint ventures. So I want to discuss how to use joint ventures to get guest spots. So podcasts, summits, webinars, and everybody earlier put down they want to get on podcasts and summits. So why do we want to do this? It's pretty obvious. We want to get in front of a bigger audience. And why is this considered a joint venture? I look at it as a joint venture because it's an exchange. You're each providing value. They're providing you an audience to speak in front of, so that's hugely valuable. And in exchange for that, you're providing them value. You're providing good content at a minimum. You're providing them good content or good story in exchange. So that's why I consider this a joint venture. And let's take a look at the steps. So part of this is similar to what we talked about. You want to build on this master list. So you want to add the podcasts and the summits to your master list. And You can start some obvious places. Search on Apple iTunes for podcasts. You can use your same keywords we talked before and search on, some summits or podcasts on your niche on Google. If you do meditation, search for meditation podcast. There are podcast directories. There are summits, search for summits and podcasts in your niche from people you already know, and keep adding these. And then you got to take a look at, what value you bring to the table. Some of these are the ones we talked about. So, for example, good content with a good story. And hopefully, Jane had me on as a guest today, and hopefully I'm providing good content with a good story for you. Anytime you can support their business, if they have a podcast, anything you could do to promote their podcast. You're making connections or introductions, or any way you can provide them a potential to earn money. So here's an example. If you're speaking somewhere and you're promoting a product or service, you can offer who's ever hosting you, the podcast host, an opportunity to say, hey, in exchange for being on, anytime I sell anything, any customers I get, I'll pay you an affiliate commission. So you give people an opportunity to earn money. So these are all powerful approaches. And then it comes back to pretty much the same strategy. Understand what you bring to the table, write this proposal explaining how you can help, or find an intermediary to make an introduction. And one of the examples I love to use and that I do is with podcasts. So, for example, you want to get on a podcast. So the first thing I tell everybody is, please, please, please make sure you listen to the podcast. And then after you listen to the podcast, if it's on Apple iTunes, go in and give them a 5-star rating and write a review. So now you've written a review, you're providing value even before you contacted them. And then when you email them, explain that not only did you listen to their podcast, but you loved it so much, you gave it a 5-star rating, and here is a copy of their review. So guess what? Their podcast hosts, they just got this glowing review. First, they're much more likely to even read your email and much more likely to feel compelled to respond and support you, because the law of reciprocity is in motion. And back to earlier, find an intermediary whenever you can to make the introductions. That always helps, always makes things easier. The next area I want to spend a couple minutes about is talking about how to find leverage and partner with industry leaders. And as to why, I think that's obvious. The industry leaders have the big reach. They're the people that can help get you in front of a big target audience. And I like to call these people your dream list. So who are they? We know who a lot of them are. They're powerful email list, large audience, very large social media reach, lots of website traffic, #1 New York Times bestseller. So I think we know who a lot of these people are. So once you identified them, what are some of the things that we can do to bring value? So we've spoken about some of them, but I want to reinforce some of them, because a lot of people are very cautious about approaching a big player. Like, what am I bringing to the table? What value do I have? And I'll go back to the strategy I used for Jim Rohn. I started small and I just supported him over time. I participated in their community, and I do this, or they have social media. I make myself known. With some players, you need to buy their products and services, recommend their products and services. If they have an affiliate program, become an affiliate. It literally become an avid fan. They start to notice they're avid fans. If they have articles, republish their articles on your website. If you have a website, link back to their website. You can repost their posts. If they have social media, participate, I mentioned earlier. And the last two are always the best. Anytime you can help them sell their product and build their audience or generate additional income for them is a big bonus. But one of the things that I like to point out is, all right, big players. So there's some big players that I work with where I know they're not easily going to send an email to their whole list. But with that said, they might promote me through social media. They might promote to a subset of their list. So the more that you're providing a value to them, the more they're likely to support you. And it's a progress, it's a slow system. And the goal is really build relationships with these people. Sometimes they'll just make an introduction to you that's usually valuable. So really think of who are these big players and how could you support them? All right. And then at this point, Same strategy. Understand what you bring to the table, write your clear proposal, and find an intermediary to make an introduction whenever possible. So we covered a lot in a very short period of time over here. And the goal was to really get you thinking kind of bigger picture and also give you some specific tactics for creating a system for joint ventures, figuring out how to get spots, podcasts, and really figure out how to leverage and partner with industry leaders. But I know some of the challenges. There's challenges associated with these. And one of the challenges is overwhelming to search hundreds of different websites to find all this information. And I know it's also time consuming to find the right good partners, good podcasts. And I've been here before, so you can spend a large amount of time and money with unqualified partners and prospects and service providers. So what I've done is I've worked with my partner, Mark Porteous, creating something that we call the joint venture directory. And that's our solution for folks. And what I like to do is I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about the joint venture directory and where it is and how it fits in. And then I'm going to be giving everybody access to the joint venture directory. As I mentioned, if you currently have access to it, we're going to extend, if you're currently a paying client, we're going to extend your membership by 3 months. We'll show you how to do that in a minute. And if you're not currently a member, we're going to show you how to get either 3 months or a 15-month low-cost option. So we'll step you through that. And I'll give you some ideas on how this works. So this joint venture directory, we describe it as not only a directory, but it's a community. It's for speakers, coaches, authors, healers, marketers, and experts in the self-improvement community, what we describe as a self-improvement industry. And we've defined self-improvement very, very broadly. So self-improvement includes all these areas. And I'm going to ask everybody to take a look at these and let me know which of these, what's the one or two out of this list here that you focus in on. So, self-improvement, of course, success, health, finances, relationships, business skills for some of you, spirituality, mental health, could be lifestyle, fitness, so health. I'm going to ask everybody just to take a minute and put the ones that correspond to your main focus here. And I'm going to use this to show you some specific ideas and approaches. So I'll give people a minute. So let me see, affiliate, community, affiliate, I also refer. So let's take a look. Okay, health span, not lifespan. They're different. So that's in the health area. Relationships, spirituality, self-improvement. See Miriam, Monica, health. So quite a few for Monica over here. Health, self-improvement, lifestyle. And we'll give people a minute. I want to get as many of you as possible because we're going to show some things with the directory in a minute and show you how this works. All right. Business skills, business, personal finance. Okay. All right. Quite a few. So let's take a look how this works and what you're going to get access to. So everybody's going to get access to this joint venture community, and it provides really three pieces. So one is a comprehensive searchable database of joint venture partners, podcasts, and service providers. We also, every month, we do 2 monthly networking Zoom calls. We're typically getting 100 to 150 people on all these calls, and we facilitate networking. And then in addition to that, we have live and recording training programs that teach you how to grow your business. So let's take a look. The two options are going to be for everybody here, and we'll get your links in a few minutes for this. One will be 3 months, and we've worked this out with Jane. So this is a thank you for being part of Jane's community. You can either get 3 months access for free or 15 months and with a special price, and I'll show you how all that works with some bonuses. All right, so let's take a look at the joint venture directory. And I know, as mentioned earlier, a couple of you are already members of it. So let's take a look. If you're currently a member, hopefully I'll give you some ideas right now on how to access it and some ways to leverage it. So it's literally jvdirectory.com. And the membership for a year in the community is $697. And we're going to show you how to get access, obviously, for much less right now, and we'll step you through that. So once you're a member, you're going to click login on the top right, and it will bring up the searchable directory. And the first thing you do is you want to update your profile. And if you're currently a member, this might be a good time. You could take a couple minutes and actually log in and update your profile. And I like to describe it as LinkedIn on steroids for the self-improvement industry. So you put in your areas of focus, some of the ones we talked about earlier, your keywords, your basic stuff that you find, how you want to be contacted, a summary of what you do. And then we start differentiating ourselves from the places like LinkedIn and all the other places out there. We ask you to spell out who is your ideal joint venture partner. Who do you want to work with? That's a key piece of the puzzle. This way, people can look at your profile and see, are they a good match? What industry are they in? What are you looking for? And then we ask you to put information about what do you offer joint venture partners. So for example, we have email lists where we can promote you by email. We have a social media reach. I'll do reviews, all that sort of stuff. The next step is you identify your specific interests. So you can literally check off how you want to be found. So for example, if you want to be found doing by people who want to do cross promotion by email, you check that off. If you're looking to cross promote by social media, you check that off. Want to be interviewed, whatever it is, you check that off. I'm looking for products to review. You check all those off and let folks know what you want to do and they can find you. And then we have a section here on audience reach where you put a little information about your social media. If you have an email list, you can put your email list info. And then if you have an affiliate or referral program, you put information about that right in here. So for example, we have an affiliate program. We pay 40% commission to our affiliates. You put that information here. And once you put that in, you've updated your profile, then you want to search for people. So the first is you can search for people using a wide range of ways. So by name, email list, social media, business focus. So for example, let's say you want to speak with Jane. So you literally just type in Jane and it'll bring up Jane's profile. So Jane's profile is here. I know you go mostly by trainer Jane, but she's listed here as Jane Warr. So you look Jane up, you see everything she's doing, and you read about what she's doing. If she's a good fit for you, here's all her contact information. Here's her email, Facebook, LinkedIn, or we have a button called Contact Member, and you could click Contact Member and send her a message right through the system. And this works with a lot of our members. So for example, one of the people that I mentioned we've worked with is John Asseroff, who is in The Secret. You can do a search for John. It will bring up his profile. And he has a very big list, probably 8-figure business, very big business. And if you scroll down, you'll see everything he's doing. But if you look at best ways to contact, it's actually the name is his affiliate manager, which is David Heller. So you could contact his affiliate manager. And there's a wide range of other ways to find and contact people. So let's say I saw some people put in health. So you can literally search for health, click on health, you do a search, and there's actually 2 groups of people that are in this database. So one are our members. So we have about 1,400 people, 1,400 plus people that are members. And under status, you'll see it says member. So these are all members who built their profiles and want to connect with folks. In addition, you'll see it says non-member resource. Typically, a lot of these non-member resources are either podcasts or summits that are looking for guests. And our team has gone out and identified some 600 podcasts that takes guests. So in addition to getting access to our directory of 1,400 plus members, you also get access to 600 plus podcasters. You get access to all those as well. So just did a search for health. If you see someone of interest, let's say Amy Tedisco, same thing, you just click more info. It will bring up Amy's profile with all her contact information. If she's a good fit, you just contact her. You can also search for things like podcasts and summits. So if you click under platforms, you can say, you know what, I want to find podcast hosts. And let's say I saw somebody put personal finances. You can literally search for podcast hosts for personal finances. You click search, it will bring up all the podcasts just for personal finances, and we have 113. If you see one of interest, same thing, you click more info and you read about what they do. The host is Paula Pant. If it's a good contact, you want to reach out, here's all our contact information. In addition, we have what we call an advanced search. Let's take a quick look at that. So if you remember earlier, we showed all these different fields. I want to cross promote by email. I want people to interview me. I want to cross promote by social media. You can now search on any of these. So let's say you want to cross promote with people by email. Let's say your list is 100 people. You can say, you know what? I want to find people who have a list of 100 or more and cross promote by email. And then you could click here, cross promote by email, and it will bring up everybody in the database with their email list size. And then if you click list size, you can sort it. So you see, we have some people with very, very big lists, 1,900,000. If you click list size again, you'll see there are people with 100, 110, 120. So regardless of what size you're at, in terms of your business, you'll find people to connect with. In addition to that, every month we do 2 networking calls. So you have access to those. And if you can't make one of our networking calls, we record them. So you can come to any of our previous networking events. So it's very, very powerful. Even if you can't make a call live, you can still reach out to people who are on the call. So we want to get you access to these 2 training calls every month, to the two networking calls every month. In addition, we have a list of summits and conferences that are coming up. If you want to get on summits and conferences, you just take a look at those and you'll see the ones that are coming up and see who's a good match for you. We also have, if you are doing a launch or you have an affiliate program, you can promote yourself there. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is every month we do a different training program. And you had access to our full library of trainings on how to market your business. So for example, we had Nancy Jutton do a section on how to get on podcasts. That's included. You get one on lead magnets. You get one from Suzanne Evans on using speaking. You get one on LinkedIn. So you get all these programs as part of your membership. And we'll take a few minutes and kind of step you through how that works, and we'll get everybody set up over here. All right, so let's take a look, get a couple things, and then we'll open it up. We have a few other things I want to do after we get everybody set up. So at this point, you probably get a sense of who this is a good fit for. And it's perfect for anybody who's a coach, speaker, author, expert, business owner, looking to reach people in this broad industry. We have 1,400 businesses in one place. It's also for anybody who wants to find podcasts or platforms. 600 of the top podcasts are here. And I mentioned we have people at all different levels. 7- and 8-figure businesses like Mind Movies or John Assaraf or Christian Michelson or Mary Morrissey. Obviously, Jane and Kimberly Crow and Nancy Jutton. We have, regardless of what level you're at, we have a wide range of members for you to work with. The investment for 1-year access to the directory is $697. And as a thank you for being part of Jane's community, we worked with her to put together what we feel is an irresistible, risk-free offer to get you started. And I'll step you through the 2 different options. So for anybody who wants to get started, what we're doing for folks who want to do the low-cost investment is we're going to provide everything that I showed you here for $297 instead of $697. But instead of getting for $697 for 12 months, we're going to give it to you for 15 months for $297 for 15 months. And I'll show you how that's going to work. So you're going to get all the networking calls. So that's 2 every month for 15 months. So there are 15 general calls and then 15 specialized calls. In addition, we do additional training. You get access to all of that. Every month we do additional onboarding and additional training. There's a bonus training that we just give to our paid members called How to Approach Joint Venture Partners Even If You Don't have a Big Email List. So anybody who pays for the low-cost investment gets access to that. And I mentioned some of the other ones on podcasts. You get all the programs and access for 15 months, plus all the new ones every month. In addition, as part of the paid program, we partnered with Jackie Lappin, where you'll get 2 months free membership into Jackie Lappin's Speaker Tunity programs. And that's typically a $400 package, but gives you 2 more months of other places to speak and speaking opportunities. In addition to that, we have a partnership through Zoom where you get Zoom Pro access for $12.99 a month. And that includes unlimited cloud storage for your recordings, webinars, and meetings up to 500 people. Gary Rogers, in addition, is a former Hollywood director. He'll personally train you in how to create and deliver a powerful elevator pitch in a live Zoom masterclass. You get access to all of that. So for anybody who enrolls for the 297 version, you get access to everything that I talked about for 15 months. But one of the things we like to do is reward people who take fast action. So anybody who enrolls in the 15-month version, the paid version, we're going to provide some other fast action bonuses. So I will do a one-on-one private 30-minute marketing coaching call with you on any area of marketing, whether it's website or joint ventures or social media, whatever you need help with. In addition, Tom Antion's a master speaker and one of my mentors. He's agreed to do a 30-minute coaching call with you. And finally, we have a following of about 60,000 people on Twitter. We will promote you on Twitter twice throughout the year. And one of the things we like to do is we want to make sure people know that this is a really good fit for you. So for folks who are investing in the 297, we still want to give you 90 days to test drive because we want to make sure it's a really perfect fit. So for anybody invested 297, we're also going to provide a 90-day, 100% money back guarantee. So for any reason, if you decide to cancel your membership with us in the first 90 days, you're going to receive your entire investment back. And the reason we do that is we're committed with Jane. We want to give you, regardless of whether you do the 297 or you get the 3 months, we want you to feel you can test it risk-free either way. So I'm going to put a link in the minute. So you have two options, and we want to get everybody signed up. And for the folks that are currently paid members, I'll show you in a minute how to get the extra 90 days. So we're going to put in two links. So one of the links is to get the 297 offer for 15 months. The other is a 3-month offer for free. And if you go for the 3 months, at the end of the 3 months, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for the 697. Or sometimes we do promotions for 397, but this is really the only time you'll be able to sign up for this particular option. So let me I'm going to put in information for everybody to join. So we want to make sure everybody signed up for one of these today, either the 3 months or the 15 months. And once again, if you do the 15 months, you still have the 3 months to test it out and get money back guarantee. So let me just show you how this is going to work. So if you want to do the paid option, you click on the first link, and it's going to bring up all the details over here. And when you sign up, if you click on any of the links to purchase it, you're going to see it's going to say 697. And this is really important. You're going to need to put the promo code in, the word Jane, and click apply. And it's going to do two things. One, it's going to bring the price down to 297. And in addition to bringing the price down to 297, what it will do is timestamp it so we know when you signed up to make sure you're getting all the appropriate bonuses. So you want to make sure you put in Jane for two reasons. One, to get the reduced price, and also to get the bonuses. So at this point, I'm going to just take a couple of minutes. I just want to share, we've worked with a lot of folks over here. We'll give people a chance to sign up, get logged in. I'm going to share just a couple of testimonials. We got a ton of folks that are getting huge value from this. And I'll step you through what some of our members are saying. This is one from Susie Pruden. And after hearing my presentation, one of the other attendees contacted me and ended up investing $7,500 with her. And that was just from one meeting, one contact. Here's another one from Gary Rogers. My participation in the joint venture directory community has brought me new clients generating tens of thousands in additional revenue, offering best networking. This is one from Rhonda Schur. in my first networking call, I met someone who enrolled in my training for a 10x return on my investment. And someone just sent me this. So I wanted to jump in because I mentioned we do this Zoom thing. And Jenny sent me an email. I wanted to share an appreciation with you. When I did my taxes, she just did her taxes. I discovered that switching to Zoom through your community saved me $400. So she got her money's worth just from that. So at this point, we have a number of other things I want to cover in terms of strategies with people. And we're going to have another half an hour that I'm going to stick around. We want to make sure I answer any questions. We have some other strategies for folks. We'll give an opportunity for a little more networking as well. And at this point, Jane, anything you want to add at this point?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you because that's a phenomenal offer. I hope everybody realizes that. It's a great way to try it out if you're on the end of trying the first 3 months for free. And then, of course, for those of you that are comfortable to jump in, then getting 3 months additional to the 12, which is already dramatically reduced to $297, is a phenomenal value. So thank you for that, David. I want to give a shout out to you and the JV directory as well. And I love the testimonials that you just shared, because I was also going to say, not just am I earning money, but I'm saving money because of the people that I have been networking with and moving forward with different people, in which case I'm replacing certain services. Again, you know what, I'm going to be writing out a testimonial. That's what I want to do for you, David. I'm going to commit to doing that. Because I have been looking at, how many connections have I made through your program? And it's like anything else, take some time, commit to building the relationships, reaching out. I love what you shared about the different ways you can search for things. It is so incredibly detailed. The advanced search is phenomenal. And I know I could put it to even better use, so I will. and I'm looking forward to it. So Diane, do you have a question? We'll go to you.
Yeah, if we're current members, you mentioned something. What is?
So if you're a current member and you want to get the extended 3 months, just send me an email.
Okay.
And just put 3 months. I'm going to put my email address over here.
Okay.
Send me an email and I'll make sure it's taken care of. It's just david@selfgrowth.com. I put my email address in here. So if you're currently a member, we'll add the 3 months. If you're currently a member and your membership's running out soon and you want to get all the bonuses, if you sign up for the paid version, we'll add 15 months on to whenever it runs out. So if you want to get all the bonuses, we'll add an extra 15 months on to whenever your date runs out, plus the bonuses. And one of the things I want to mention for folks also, is that the reason we're due and provide all the value is very simple. So one of the things we want to do is build this. And we know the more value that we bring to you, the more likely you're going to bring it and recommend it to other folks. And that's our goal, to really have a community that's bringing a lot of people in. And the more value that we provide, the better. So a couple things I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put in an email for support. Anybody has any questions at all? The support email is mark@jvdirectory.com. And I just put that in. So if you have any questions at all on anything, you don't get your password, you don't get access to it, we'll put that in. And another thing I want to point out is one of the reasons we're doing the 15 months is we want to include 3 months. If you're doing the 15-month version, we want you to have an opportunity to make sure it's the perfect fit for you. And what I'm going to recommend, if you do the paid version, is to set up within the 3 months, set up a call with me. Set up a call with me as soon as possible. And here's why. So if you set up a call with me and at the end of it, you're like, this isn't good. Even after you do your call with me, at the end of the call, if you're like, it's not a good fit, we'll refund your money right there. Not a problem. But the main reason I want to do that is my goal is very simple. And a 30-minute call with you is to find at least $300 of value in that one call. So my goal is to find you some low-hanging fruit in your business that will get you immediate benefit from it. And that's why I do it. So, and I know the more benefit that I provide you, the quicker, the more you're going to become an affiliate and recommend it and work with us.
Fantastic. And the bonuses that you put in there, the fact that you're giving 30 minutes, David, thank you. That's phenomenal. I know how highly valuable that is. Others that know you already know that as well. I love also that you mentioned Jackie Lappin's program, the 2 months in the bonus. I know her personally. She's spoken at one of our summits in the past. Again, phenomenal program to get that 2 month bonus. So lots of kind of juicy details in there.
All right, sounds good. So I'm going to put the links in one more time. So if you're not a member right now, I want to make sure everybody signs up with one of these two, either the free 90 or the 15-month plan. I'll put the links in one more time. So I want to make sure everybody has access before we finish up today. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to do that. And I have a few more ideas I can share as well for folks. We can, if you want to jump in, or I can open it up first for questions, or does anybody have any specific questions?
I believe they're taking action. They look like they're taking action.
All right, we'll give people a couple minutes to take some action over here. We'll give everybody a couple minutes to sign up, and then we'll cover some more stuff in a couple minutes. And Jane, you want to just pause the recording for a couple seconds? We could pause it, and then we'll start up again when we provide some other. All right, so I think everybody's all set up. Any other questions, let me know. And I want to share a few other ideas with everybody for kind of effectively using. Everybody here is going to have at minimum 3 months up to 15 months. So let's take a look over here. I want to share a couple things to get started. So the first thing I tell folks, and this is very important. So you want to spend a few minutes and make sure you fill out your profile. So you're going to get an email. You're going to set up the password. Whenever possible, be as complete as possible in all the areas. If there's something you're not comfortable with, like for example, there's a section that asks what's your income or what's your revenue from the business. If you're not comfortable with it, skip it. Don't worry about it. But I really want you to focus on a couple of areas, what you're about and what you do, and explain who your ideal joint venture partner is and what you can provide for joint venture partners. This is very, very important. And focus on your strengths from the partner's point of view. Always think of how you can support them. And we do these networking events twice a month also. So whenever you do the networking events, you get an opportunity to talk a little bit about what you do, but I also recommend focusing on how you support people. Because if someone hears that, hey, you'll support them by sending out an email or you'll interview them on Facebook Live, they're much more likely to want to work with you because they know you're providing value up front. So it will attract more people, and it will attract people who will want to support you in kind. So really important to focus from kind of that vantage point. The next area I want to spend some time talking about is how to contact folks. And this is really important. And I recommend doing this whether you're speaking with people or emailing, but for my purposes here, this is you're messaging somebody. So whenever you find someone you want to contact or work with, first thing I tell everybody, please personalize your message. If you're sending a dear first name and it's the same email, they're going to know, they're going to sense it. And here's the crazy thing. I have literally gotten messages that say, dear first name. I've had people contact me who had dear first name, and for whatever reason, they forgot to put my first name or the automated software didn't work right. Literally dear first name. And obviously people know that. And one of the things I like is you really state clearly why you're writing, why are you contacting them? And for me, a critical thing is state what you can provide. What can you do for them? Because the more they see in terms of value upfront that you're willing to do for them, the more they're first likely to read your email, the more likely they'll respond to your email, and the more likely they'll want to support and do something with you. And these are all kind of critical pieces. And I also recommend, clearly stating your outcome. And for me, whenever I'm contacting people, almost always my outcome is, can we schedule a call? Almost always. Some people are emailing, would you like to be on my summit? Would you like to be part of my giveaway? For me, it's always someone who's a partner. I want to schedule at a minimum a 15-minute introductory call. Minimum 15-minute introductory call. as a purpose of why I want to speak, of why I'm contacting them, to talk about how we can support each other to mutually grow our businesses. Typically what I do is a half an hour as a first point. And what I'll do in the half an hour when I contact folks is I'll focus on how we can support each other. And what I'm about to share with you, I think is a pretty important piece of the puzzle. What you're going to find in our community is there's two groups of people. One of the groups of people are potential partners. You're supporting them, recommending them, they're recommending and supporting you. So that's part of the group. That's one piece of the puzzle. And that's a great approach to joint venture directory, and that's what it's designed for. But what you'll also find is that there are people in the community that are potential clients for you. We have 1,400 members. Some of them might be, if you run a B2B business, some of them are going to be potential clients. So what I typically do if I'm scheduling a first call is I will focus most of my time and effort on how we can support each other. And then I might talk a little bit about towards the end of the call, say we also have a number of other programs, some paid programs where we can support you and there's or there's some other stuff that I could do to work with you more closely. I'll talk about it a little bit and ask them, is this something you're interested in? And if it's something they're interested in, I will schedule another call just about that. So my first calls are generally, I don't like going in and doing some hard sell. And I have people that schedule calls with me. And it's a half an hour call. And from minute one, they're selling. First, it doesn't work. Second, it turns people off. So a much better approach is the one I said, look for partnerships, and then somewhere in the call fit in, this is what I do. If you're interested, I'll be happy to schedule a call with you. But with that said, always keep your ears and eyes open. If somebody says, oh yeah, I need that right away. If you're talking to somebody and they're like, oh, this is a service that I want right away, you can take a few minutes and if someone wants to buy from you now, don't put them off. Stop selling when the customer says, yes. Yeah. So if someone wants to, but keep in mind, first call is generally for building relationships, finding out what they're doing. So the next thing I want to point out when you're contacting people. So a lot of people have different methods to contact people within the joint venture directory. Some have their phone number, some have an email, some have a LinkedIn, some are just using the form. A couple of things I want to mention. One is be patient with folks. People get a lot of emails or contacted. Just because someone didn't respond right away doesn't mean they're not interested. And give them some time. I typically give someone 3 to 5 days, maybe a week. If I don't hear back from them, I'll try again. And I might respond. I might send the same email out and I'll add a line to it saying, just checking to see if you got my earlier email. Literally same email, just checking to see if you got my earlier email. Some people, it's going into spam. They're never going to see it. You can try them on LinkedIn. Give them another week, try them on Facebook or try them on a call. So be patient. And then there's some people that, for whatever reason, they don't think you're a good fit for them. And unfortunately, they won't respond to you. So don't worry about those. Focus on the folks that are a good fit, that are responding, that are open. And I definitely find if you're leading with value and how you can support them, they are much more likely to want to work with you and support you and at a minimum respond to you. Okay. The next thing I want to spend just a couple minutes on right now is talk about our upcoming events. And I'm actually let me put a link in over here for folks. So I mentioned earlier that we do 2 networking events every month. So for any of you who are healers or health practitioners or who serve healers and health practitioners and healers, we have an event coming up literally tomorrow. We're expecting probably 120 plus people on that event. So you're more than welcome to come to the event. I'm going to put the links in. Our monthly ones are typically the first. So we have for a whole group, March 13th and then April 10th. We have one just for coaches coming up on March 7th as well. So let me put a link in for everybody for those. And if you want to take a couple minutes and upcoming events, you can sign up for those as well. So I just put that in the chat. for any upcoming events folks have. And at this point, I know we were going to go a little bit further. I'll leave a few minutes. We'll open it up. Want to make sure everybody's all set and good to go. Any final questions from anybody?
I know we have one question, David, in the chat in regards to, is there a way to turn on the notifications from the dashboard?
For the joint venture directory?
Yes.
So everybody automatically gets the note. When you say the notifications, if you're the way the email set up, if someone contacts you or you contact them, once you're contacted, you will get an email from Market JV Directory saying, Trainer Jane just sent you a message with the subject being, click here to read your message and respond. So it's automatically turned on and you'll get a message.
Yes, you receive the email to then log in to the JV directory to see the message.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm maybe it went into spam or something. There was somebody that I realized after had contacted me, but I didn't see anything.
So there's a section called messages when you log in.
Okay.
When you log in, click on messages. If they sent you a message through there, that will be there.
Okay. But that doesn't, that wouldn't notify you through email. It would just be there.
Yes. So you should get an email first, but if for some reason it went into spam, you didn't get it, if you check messages, it'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah, Aretha's coming from Mark Porteous when it comes up in my email box.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you send out a lot of messages and then it looks like Mark Porteous is messaging you 10 times. It's 10 new emails from 10 different people. Awesome. Hala, please go ahead.
So yeah, just a quick question. I got a private message. If you sign up for the $297, we've been renewing everybody at that price. It's not an automatic renewal, but we'll notify you. And so the short answer is yes, we'll renew at that same price.
That was
Yep.
great. Yeah, that was a great one. My other question is, so because if you're a member already, and I just signed up with this one as well, to extend it 15 more months, and the bonus says, do I get an email also since already a member? Okay.
Yep.
You'll get it. Okay. And will it list, you said the bonuses and everything will be on there. So I'll go to the email.
Yep, you get an email. If you have any questions at all, I'll put the support email one more time for everybody. It's just support@markporteous.com.
Okay. And we get a
Actually,
call.
support@jvdirectory.com.
I get a call with you, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
And
love that.
once
Yeah,
again,
take action and then put time into your schedule for all of you to be putting your summaries in there and your search criteria and using it. Again,
thank you. That's the thing. Implement. Thank you, Jane. Yes, because I need to put it in here because I'm in so many different directions and I've been having this and I haven't even used it. So it feels like I'm fresh with David again, and I've been going for how long, David?
Long time.
I'll help hold you accountable, Hala.
Yes, I've known him from my sales coach back in 22, Eric Lapham. So
big fan of Eric.
I haven't taken action, yes, but I haven't taken action. Thank you.
Well, we're glad you are here today, Hala.
Thank you. I guess it needed to be through you, Jane. Yes.
There you go. There you go. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Bringing it all back together.
People get things done. Like I said, we don't want you just buying training. That's not what we're here for. We want to help you grow your business, sell your products and services ethically. That's, of course, what we talk about at Selling on the Spot. And, of course, here it's joining the JV directory because I bring David in because I know him, I like him, I trust him. I am a product of his product. I've been earning money through the JV directory. I've been saving money through the JV directory. I'm proudly an affiliate. I don't bring in anybody that I don't recommend to all of you. So again, kudos to you that are taking action, and please do so. And guess what? You're going to see me at the networking event tomorrow and other networking events because I attend them also because, again, phenomenal connections that I've been getting through there.
Yeah.
Let me give you, I can also give you some suggestions for the networking event. So a couple of key things for the networking event. When you're in the networking event, well, first, and this is for all of Jane's stuff also, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Yeah, there's an old expression, the fortune's in the follow up. So you want to make sure you're following up. And here's the biggest challenge for a lot of people. You got to stay organized. And I can't understate the benefits and the power with staying organized. And literally, like I have a spreadsheet that has my contacts, and I have and you need some way to do this that says when I'm supposed to follow up with somebody. So I literally have a column that says follow up date. So I know when to follow up. Because it's very easy to, yeah, and even no system's perfect, but you want to figure out who the folks you want to work with. And sometimes you got to be persistent because some folks, yeah, we get busy. Everybody gets busy. And we live in a world where you're getting pulled with these shiny new objects to 1,000 ways. Like my whole day's getting pulled in 100 directions. So you need to keep some organized system for yourself so that you can make sure you're following up with the highest priority folks. And you might even put a system in place and mark it down. And so what I'll frequently do is I'll follow up with people, and I'll also what I'll do is I reach out to people on LinkedIn. Like whenever I meet people, what I'll typically do is I'll reach out to them and I'll friend them on LinkedIn or Facebook. Whenever I go in a networking event, and just as a simple, easy thing, hey, I met you on the LinkedIn, or if you have a VA, what I'll do sometimes, I have a VA, so I'll be on an event. I'll give you an example. I might go on an event. There's a whole bunch of folks that we work with, and I go to other networking events, and I'll take a picture, a screenshot of everybody who's there, and then I'll send that picture to my VA, and I'll with a message. I'll say, "Can you reach out to these folks and friend them on LinkedIn and Facebook?" And what they do is they look them up. Not only do they have their name, now they have their picture. So even if the name's John Smith, they can figure out which John Smith based on what he looks like. And I'll have them send an initial message saying, "Hey, great, Jane, great to meet you. It was great seeing you at the event." And then if you're looking to connect, great seeing you at the connect. Would you like to connect here? And then if they respond, I'm more likely to schedule a call with them at that point. But this way, you're at least developing a first connection. All right, Diane, what do you got?
What time is the event tomorrow?
It is 1 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, thank you.
And you can sign up. You can see all the upcoming ones I'll put the link in one more time.
No, I saw it. I just didn't want to click on it yet.
Yep. And one other thing I want to mention relative to the event. The event's really broken into two sections. The first one is a 1 hour section where we do small group networking. And some folks just come for the 1 hour. That's it.
Okay.
And then after that, we give everybody a chance to speak to the whole group, and that can run 2 hours. Sometimes people just come to the second half. And then there are the troopers who are there for 3 hours plus, and we're going strong. So don't feel bad if you could just come to half of the meeting or whatever portion you can come.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you mentioned that, David, because yeah, there's two different kind of feels, but at the same time, just make sure that it's in your schedule, that you have the time for it. And as you said, have the time for the follow-up from all the great connections you're going to make there. That's one of the things I talk about all the time is that slow down to speed up, do a little bit less, in your schedule, make sure you have enough time to then do the follow-up before moving forward otherwise.
Absolutely. Yep. And so those are a couple things to keep in mind. During the session, I start with some other ideas, but I wanted to give you a few more to really focus on and figure out and save out the chat and come up with a system. You need a system or stuff's going to fall through the cracks. You can't do it. If you have 10 people you're working with, yes, but once it starts 100, and growing, you need a system to figure out what the best approach is. So you don't lose opportunities with partners or you don't lose opportunity with customers.
Yeah, definitely take the time to think about who are you most looking for? Who would you like to connect with? As opposed to saying yes to everyone and everything. Again, that's why I like the search criteria that they have in the JV directory and the examples that you showed, David, that you can look for podcasts under the financial category, like that's phenomenal, to really break it down and fine tune. So you're really careful about how much time and effort you're putting into these and putting it into the right people and the right connections that are the most right for you right now.
Yep. All right. Any other final questions? All right. Well, I hope this has been productive and useful for everybody. Looking forward to supporting you. Jane, any final words?
Well, I'm excited for all of you that have taken action. These have been phenomenal bonuses, a phenomenal program, of course, that David and Mark bring for you. So David, thank you so much for bringing this, of course, to the Selling on the Spot marketplace family and community, because again, I highly value it. I use your program, have gotten amazing results, again, whether it was clients, whether it's making impact, whether it's making, getting speaking presentations, booking speaking presentations. I've put it to so much use, and I look forward to all the results that the Selling on the Spot community is going to be getting from it. And again, working and doing more with you, David and Mark, and seeing you all at the networking events. So David, thank you one more time for today's presentation, and we'll see more of you for sure.
All right. See everybody soon.
Thank you, everybody. See you at another amazing Selling on the Spot event. Take care. Bye-bye.